So guys, I told you how to make the head. you can make the head yourself, but I told you also how to make an eyeball in the first video, but let's make it again. So go to the subtool in the tool menu, of course, always in the tool menu for now, and we go to append here in the bottom. It's not in the bottom, but it's here. Append, click it, and then go to this window and stay there. And then sphere 3D, just click it, and it will appear in the bottom. We can alt click on it or just change from here. We can click on the sphere and then we have it, the sphere, and it looks pretty fine. Let's W so we can have the sphere selected and drag down, 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 and yeah, I don't see it anymore, so I will drag it outward like this, and I can continue to drag it down until I have something, for example, like this. Maybe a little bit smaller, but yeah, this is fine. And this will be our eyeball. The eyeball is kind of the size of the nose. It's not... I mean, the eyeball should go to the width of the head in the widest point, which is above the ears. In here is the widest point of the head, of the skull, because the widest is the ears, but they are not skull. So the widest point of the skull is from this point to this point in here. So from the front view, the eyes, the eyeballs should kind of go to the head 6.5 times or something. But we will go by eye in here and just place them by eye, the eyeballs. Place it here around this area, and from the side view I'm snapping and with shift, and I'm putting it a little bit more inward on the top. And now I will go with my standard brush, just drag, make an eyelid, upper eyelid. With alt I will drag to dig it, then again just with standard brush, then again with alt, then again with standard brush, just with normal, and then alt, and until I have this kind of a thing. Yeah, it's looking like a monster, but bear with me here, probably it will be okay. So above the eyelid we have to make this kind of a dig in here, and we will make it. It will be okay with small standard brush, and we don't have resolution for that yet, but we'll have. So this will be our eye for now. But by the way, we have only one eyeball. We have to have one more. How to make one more? So the mirror in ZBrush, which I use, is located in Z plugin, in Transpose, no, it's not Transpose Master, in Subtool Master, mirror. So it's a little bit away, but we will kind of get it from here because we use it kind of regularly. We'll take it from here and put it somewhere in our interface so we can see it better, and we can use it with not much problem. So we go to Z plugin, Subtool Master, and Subtool Master has a lot of things, but I use only mirror. So mirror, and then it will open this window, and by default it will mirror it by x-axis. So by x-axis is what we need. So now we have the eye on the other side exactly mirrored, and we can press X to have symmetry so we can work on both eyes. But we will not for now work on both eyes. We'll just work on our head. So now I will go BMV for move brush. I'll increase the size of it, and I will make the eyelids. The eyelids should be kind of thick. From the bottom view, from the bottom, if you see, the eyelid should be pretty thick. Many people, beginners mostly, are making the eyelids very thin, and it doesn't look very nice. We have to make them thicker than in reality. Thicker. So bear in mind that. So with the move brush BMV, I will go and just make the eye a bit more eye shapey. But now probably we should kinda... Yeah, it's looking pretty strange. Probably we should smooth this area here. Yeah, maybe like this is better. But still, it's not looking very promising. So I will go to the Dynamesh in Geometry tab. of the tool menu, and resolution a little bit bigger, like 192. Drag to Dynamesh it, and now I can smooth here, and then I will go with my BDS, down standard brush. Sometimes I forgot the name of the brushes. And then with Alt, I will dig deeper in here. In your case, if you haven't changed this to Ziad, it will be this up, and you will just drag. But I like it to be on Ziad, and I'm just Alt dragging to push this inward, and then dragging without Alt to pull this eyelid, the upper eyelid. And then I will push this and then pull the bottom eyelid. And the bottom eyelid should go BMV, and then push it here, push it outward with the move brush, so I'm rotating around the object just to be able to make the eyelids the same distance all over their length to the eyeball, the same distance. And the distance shouldn't be very small, it should be kind of thick. You see, it's pretty thick. Oops, yeah, so I'm rotating and then shift. So between the eyes there will be one eye distance. So let's with move brush kind of move it inward. I think it's kind of promising. From the side view, the eye should be, let me show you. Okay, it should be a kind of this shape, like a triangle, and then the eyeball should be here. So if your shape is not a triangle like this, but it's something like this and this, you should fix it. It should be straight, and then the eyeball. Yeah. The nose, as I told you, should be down, very smooth here, not like this and this. It should be kind of smooth transition of the female character, I mean. For the male, it doesn't matter. It could be very kind of a harsh transition, it doesn't matter. And here, the upper lip, the lower lip is behind it, and it's more round, and then goes the chin. And also here, upper eyelid, we have to fix it, by the way, because it's too much in. But upper eyelid like this, then the eyeball, then the lower eyelid, which is behind it. If we go like this, it's behind it, and then it will go down a bit like this. It's too much in our case, and then it will go forward. We have to fix this also. Okay, so now how am I drawing on my screen? It's a program called Epic Pen. It's a very good program for teachers like me. So I'll go to BSJ, which is standard brush, and I will fill a little bit here with a standard brush. Just fill. Then I will dig in this area, just in the corner of the eye and up and back, and smooth it. And it's starting to take a nice shape. Also, the lips, they are not very nice. So in the middle I will fill, and in the sides I will also fill it a bit with the standard brush. And the lips will start to take a shape. They were not having kind of a shape. Yeah, basically they didn't have a good shape on them. Alright, it's you know, if you cannot make a good female character, don't worry about it. I mean, it's normal. I couldn't make it to save my life back in like 10 years ago, because I was starting with ZBrush back then. Now, with a lot of practice, I can do it. So you have to be MV. You have to practice. Practice is the key. If you make one head, it will be bad, probably. If you make the second head, it could be a little bit better. Each head, kind of make it for like 4 hours or something. In the beginning, it will take a little bit more, but with each head, it will be less time and less time. BSJ for standard brush. And at some point, if you make heads from sphere for a few weeks, every day for at least one, you will be able to make one head for 2 hours and it will be decent probably. You just have to keep practicing, view some anatomy books, view some videos online. In my channel I have some. If you don't know my channel, you can ask me, of course. It's not a problem. I have few videos about head anatomy, female head anatomy, male also. But they're not enough. They're not enough. You have to also use pictures. With the move brush, I will move this a little bit back like this. Yeah, it's starting to look a bit like a boy. It's not exactly BSJ. It's not super female-ish yet. Hopefully it will become. But the thin neck is making it more female-like. And the neck, by the way, could go a little bit forward. I've seen a lot of people making a mistake of making the neck too much backward. So the front part of the neck, remember that, should start around the middle of the jaw. So from here, let's make our brush smaller and make this jaw a little bit backward. Start from a little bit backward. So from here to the ear, and the jaw, the neck should start from the middle. So it could be a little bit even more forward. Or the ear also could go a little bit forward. But not too much, because we know the ear hole is in the beginning of the ear and the ear is back of it, and the ear hole is in the middle of the skull from the side view, around the middle. Also the move brush, make it smaller with the bracket keys, move here, move it, then we can smooth a little bit with smaller brush, go to the standard brush BSJ, and yeah, you see, maybe for you, since everything is difficult in the beginning, maybe for you this changing of the brushes will not be that bad, but for me it is a pretty big pain because I'm used to my shortcuts, but it's not a problem because BMV, I know which brush I want to use in which occasion. For example, I want to move a little bit the forms, the overall forms, I go to move brush. I want to just fix some things like this, quick fix and then smooth, move brush. I want to kind of dig the forms, I go to the standard brush. I want to dig more like a knife, I go to damp standard brush. I want to do something else, I go with the corresponding brush. I want to flatten some areas, I go to the high polish brush. So you see, there is a brush for everything, and most of the brushes, as you can see, that we use are the common brushes, the damp standard brush, the standard brush. Not too much brushes we use. So now let's make a poly paint of our head. The head is kind of nice, it's not the best. BMV. Yeah, I'm looking above my microphone because my microphone is just in front of my face, so I have to look above it to see my keyboard, to see the key combination. When I'm using the 1, 2, 3 keys, it's very much easier because they are easy, just one key. But now I have to look to see the whole combination. So I have to fix a little bit the form of the skull, which is very important for a head, to get it right. If you don't get it right, it's the neck is going like a straight line, and then it's kind of an angle in here, and the angle is starting just behind the ear like this here. All right. It's not the best thing, especially from the side view. I'm not completely happy with it. But for this time, I think it's enough. And for you, I will recommend just to practice with the brushes. Just spend your time, take your time, don't hurry. Just take your time. That's my kind of advice. And when you are ready to kind of poly paint, the poly paint is kind of texturing in ZBrush. It's basically a vertex paint, if you know what it is. It's painting the vertices. So the resolution depends on the vertices. If we have small number of vertices like here, we'll not be able to make a huge detail, but you will see. So first, let's change the color. This is the color changing thing. So if we change the color now, it will change the color of the object, but it's not applied to the object yet. We have to apply it manually. So we go to some kind of a this color. Yeah, in the beginning this color probably maybe a little bit more yellowish and a little bit more, yeah, like this. So this color in the beginning will be okay. So we go to color palette and fill object. This fill object is pretty important for poly painting, for painting on our object. So we will use it regularly, and probably we'll have to kind of take it out on our UI. But for now we'll use it from here, color, fill object, because this is default. And now our head is filled, and when we change the color, it will not change. Only the eyes, because they don't have color yet, they will change. We'll go to some kind of a whitish color for the eyes, and just go to the eyes with alt click on them, and just color, fill object, fill the eyes with white. Now the eyes are white, and everything is okay. We go to the mesh and just maybe smooth a little bit the eyelids because they are too sharp. I don't like them to be that sharp. And you see, now it's looking fine. If I make a mask which is representing the upper eyelash, the lower eyelash also, a little bit of a shadow here, a little bit of a eyebrow, and a bit of a lipstick, you see how it's kind of starting to be nice. This is just a mask now. You see how you understand it's mask. It just will stay in place because they're masked. So this is okay. Now, what we need to do next, we can draw something on the eyes. We go to the eyes, alt click on them, or from the subtool menu, we make sure we have selected the eyes, and they will be here also, because this is our active tool now. We can have another tool by clicking here, and this is another tool with its own subtools. We can have here something else, but for now we have this. We go back to it from here, and then let's go to this solo button. By the way, if you're working from laptop or something with low resolution, this solo button will probably be not visible for you. You will see until maybe move or zoom 3D, and then those in the bottom you will not see. So solo mode is very important and very nice to have, because if you have like 60 subtools in here, you don't have to disable the visibility of every other subtool to see just one. You just have to press solo mode, and whatever subtool you are on, it will be the only visible subtool, which is very nice to use. So solo mode, by the way, if you don't have it, it's in transform here, solo. You see? So we can turn it on and off from here. But for now, we use it from here, because most of you will have it there. Some of you will not, I told you, but you can take it from this area. So now I will make a mask. Basically this mask will be equal to the radius of the eyeball. So I'm just control and dragging and until I get this. So this is circle, this is not. I'm not sure why. Let me, yeah, this is not. But they should be equal, because yeah. Let's click local symmetry, by the way, and try it again. Let's see if this will happen now. Wow. Yeah, this is not exactly perfect, but whatever. We need only one eye to be perfect, and we can always just delete the other one and make mirror again. So, how to delete, by the way, one of the eyes. So, let me show you quick. Control Shift dragging. If we don't have symmetry, but let's see, Control Shift dragging will kind of make sure that whatever is in this green rectangle, it will be visible. So Control Shift drag will make sure that we have visible only in what is in the green triangle. The other parts are hidden, they are not deleted. But we can Control Shift drag outside the object, and we can invert in this way the visibility of the hidden things. And it's very easy to hide something, to delete something by hiding it with Control Shift Alt drag, and this will make the triangle red and it will hide it. And then we go to geometry. It's very well hidden, by the way. Modify topology, del hidden. By the way, del hidden is here. Modify topology, del hidden. This is very well hidden, this del hidden button. I don't know why, because it's very important and we are using it all the time to hide parts. For example, if I want to delete this eye, one of the eyes, I will go like this. Press X to disable symmetry, Control Alt Shift drag and hide this eye, and then I will go and del hidden and it will be deleted. It no longer exists. So now I made a mask. I will invert the mask and then I will kind of go to my BI inflate brush, inflat BIN, and just very easy drag in here and then shift smooth to have it a little bit bulging. So not too much, just a little bit bulging. That's what the real eye is doing. And now I will go ahead and add subdivisions to this eye. What means to add subdivisions to something? In the geometry tab you have the subdivisions. Divide is Control D. This will add subdivision. This will quadrify the number of polygons. Now we have 8,000 polygons. They will be multiplied by 4, 32. So Control D, 32 something. So this will be equal to divide from here. Just one time I will divide it and then I will make my mask again. Just make the brush a little bit bigger like this, and then just drag and rotate, but not rotate like this. Just drag a little bit and just press and rotate with Control until we have this. This will be our mask. Then I will invert this mask and fill it with some color like blue. For example, dark. I need dark blue, like this. And fill it, color, fill object. So this will fill it with this blue. Then I will go to a little bit lighter color, and remember now, we can draw with our brushes into the object. How? So we go to the standard brush. I always do it with the standard brush. So BSJ, standard brush, and instead of going Ziad, because Ziad is, modifying the topology, it's not modifying the topology, it's bulging or kind of pushing the polygons. But we'll go to RGB in here, in the top middle part, and disable Ziad. So only RGB, this A is not a problem. So RGB only is selected, not Ziad. And now we can draw with our current color. And what I will do, I will just draw a little bit with this lighter color, but just in the bottom part, not in the top. Just in the bottom like this. Looks nice. And now I'll go to complete black and draw in the middle like this. Then I will select, by the way, how to select colors in ZBrush. In Photoshop, you just press Alt when you are in the brush and click. In ZBrush you don't click, you just press C, hovering the color. So if I want to select the black, I hover it and press C. If I want to select this, hover, press C. If I want to select this, hover, press C. And you see how this color, which is the main color, is changing. C, 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 is changing. So that's just for information. So I will go to much lighter color, make my brush smaller, and just drag a few times like this in here. And then I will go to much harder, like darker color, and go to the top and drag, and also here a little bit, maybe. Yeah, this is just a preference. So now we have this. I will disable the mask, important, and then I will show everything. So now we have this eye, but it doesn't look like eye because the material of it is not glossy. What we can do, this is the material. So if we press it, we'll see this material window. We have a quick pick, which are materials that we have used, and since I haven't used too much, they are like not too much, Matcap materials, which sometimes are useful, especially this gold material, I use it all the time, but most of them I don't use. We can kind of check some of this out, it's not a problem, but the material that we are searching for is called toy plastic material. You see how it has this kind of a very sharp gloss. So I will change the material by just clicking on it, and now we have the toy plastic material, and everything in our scene, every subtool that doesn't have material applied to it will become glossy with this material. But don't worry, we'll apply it only to the eye, and then we'll go back to our standard material and we'll be okay. So let's apply it to the eye. How to apply material? So applying the color is by going to color, fill object. The material is the same, but first, very important, you go to whatever brush you are, you go to M instead of RGB. This means material. And then we go to color, fill object. And now, since we know we are on the eye, now the eye is filled with this material. We can go to the material, go to basic material, which is here, and click on it. And now, you see the eye is with this material. We have to, by the way, place the eye a little bit lower. Yeah, so the eye has the toy plastic material, and it's looking nice. So BMV to the move brush, make it bigger, and just kind of fix this area in here because it's a little bit strange from the side view, especially. It's too much. So let me fix it. And now we have to select the eye, go to our Z plugin subtool master mirror, press OK, and we should have two eyes. And she's a little bit like cat eye, so I'll move this with the move brush a bit further up. And maybe the mouth is a bit too big, so I will, with the move brush, make it smaller and just smooth it here, and BD down standard S, BDS, and with the down standard brush I will just push the corners. So the corners of the mouth should be very, very pushed. And then a little bit like this and smooth. And then the lower lip seems very, very big and huge and something, so I'll go BMV with the move brush and just kinda try to fix it. But the idea is, you see the idea how it is. It doesn't look good. I don't like it. I mean, it's, yeah. I will dial this down. By the way, when she was smiling, I liked her more. And maybe the chin is a bit bigger, so I will go and with the move brush, a big move brush, I will just very tiny amounts, I'll push it up the chin. Not to be that huge. It shouldn't be that huge. And also here we need B. What was the name of the brush? T? No, it's not T. B. Clay, so C. Clay tubes. I love the clay tubes brush, by the way, because I can just drag very easily here and just smooth. You see, dragging and smoothing is pretty important in this brush. So I will smooth in here, drag, smooth, just add some kind of a clay. Yeah, it's clay tubes brush, and I will smooth, and it will be something like this. Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty strange, but let's BMV, which is the move brush, make it huge, and just try to kind of fix some areas. Yeah, maybe the eyes are a little bit bigger, so let's make them smaller. I will put my pivot where the eyes are, push them back a bit, and then make them smaller. But you see, it's not working very nice because I don't have symmetry. Now I have symmetry with X, and I can make them much smaller. With transparency, I can see what I'm doing, and then I can push them a bit forward with the pivot, and still it doesn't look good to me. I'm not convinced. Yeah, let's alt click on the face and just try kind of to fix the eyelids. Right, she's smiling to me. Be careful with the jaw, by the way, to not be very sharp, since this should be a female, although the neck is pretty long. And as I said in the beginning, even my female head is not like perfect in any way. So for this time it's difficult to make a nice head, but it's a good exercise in my opinion to make it. So BH P to high polish brush, make it smaller, polish this area here to make it a bit more flat. And probably what we could do is sometimes the eyes looks like they are very like, you know. So BMV for the move brush, BMV, okay, thank you. And then not the eye. The eye we shouldn't move in any case. So this, move this, and we should go to the eye itself, solo mode, and then here we should go to our standard brush. So BSJ, the standard brush, then with RGB on, and then in RGB intensity low. RGB intensity is controlling the opacity of the brush. So RGB intensity low, like 18, go to dark brown, and just drag in this area like this. You see, this will kinda emulate, maybe even darker, will emulate the shadow that the eyelid and the eyelash is throwing into the eye, and the eye will look much better. Even though now it's like very strange. So BMV for the move brush. The move brush most of the time will fix the things if you know how to use it, if you know where to kinda touch. Yeah, she's very like, psychopathic looking a little bit, huh? Psycho. With a big move brush. I'm using the bracket keys because I'm used to them. I will dial this down a bit like this. And I need to make the form of the nose a bit. Make the nose smaller, more femalish. BHP, high polish brush. High polish a bit the upper lip. Smooth it. Yeah, it's a BDS, down standard brush. Just here and smooth. You know, you always make something, kind of push it and then smooth it to be better. We can make the middle part in here, make like this. And then let's poly paint it a little bit more. So, because we haven't poly painted it almost. BMV first. I like to push a bit more the sides of the head and the top. I will turn off dynamic mode. By the way, dynamic mode of the brush is making sure that the brush stays the same relative to the object, which I don't like at all. I like my brush to change. For example, you see, now the brush is relatively small. Now the brush is very big compared to the object because I disabled the dynamic mode. And dynamic mode is disabled by double clicking on this kind of dynamic, little kind of a dynamic thing here. I disable it on all brushes all the time, but now by default, since it's on, I'm using it because it's the default settings. I mean, we are using the default settings here, which is pretty cool. and it's normal. So let's go to the standard brush BSJ and go to some kind of a reddish color, intensity, RGB intensity low, RGB on, only RGB, and just go over the lips, go over the nose a little bit, go around the cheeks, ears, of course, a lot, maybe the neck a bit, then go with some kind of a bluish color, just very easily drag around the eyes, very easy, then with some yellowish color, drag around the forehead, but very easy. And then we can select this color, which is kind of mixed with the bottom color, and then go, for example, select this with C and just drag it here. And you see how she's starting to get, we can make even harder lipstick like this. We can select a bit of this color just to drag it over a little bit, and then you see how it goes. We can select it and drag to draw it, drag here also, and make sure we have this kind of a reddish, more red color, and drag around the ears. Ears are almost all the time pretty red, and of course we can again drag on the color of the skin if we want to kind of dial down this color. It doesn't need to be that huge. Also we can make eyebrows, of course, select black, make our brush small, and just drag to draw some eyebrows. And we can also make a makeup with black in here and drag it a little bit in here, and then the lower eyelid to simulate. And you see it's now it's a little bit better, although again it's not the best, but yeah, that's what we can do. Yeah, the skull is very interesting. So BMV, move brush, make it bigger, and just dial down a little bit those skull. It's very big, it's very huge. So yeah, I think this is kind of, I'm smoothing here and there, I'm making just moves, some moving of some parts, and she's not the best looking girl ever, but she's kind of, yeah, kind of okay from some areas, from some angles. She's looking decent from some angles. And yeah, we'll leave her like this. We cannot do too much else for her. I'm smoothing here. When you smooth, you will smooth the poly paint as well as the polygons, because they are kind of connected. Except if you go to the smooth brush with shift and you change the RGB, you just disable RGB. So now, when for example I want to smooth the eye, and with shift the RGB is off, I will smooth the eye without smoothing the poly paint. If RGB is on, and on the smooth brush with shift, I can smooth the eye. Which doesn't look super bad, by the way. It's fine. By the way, what I would do here, I will go to material, because it looks a little bit dark, and I will go to modifiers and increase the ambient like to 12. It was 8 by default, and diffuse a little bit more. And she will look kind of a bit better. And also with the move brush I'll go to here and make the cheekbones or cheek fat a bit more pronounced, so she's not that kind of a thin character. And then we can check out with perspective. By the way, perspective is okay. Now we can kind of turn it on, but we have to go to draw, and here to draw menu, and here where is kind of the camera, below it there are numbers. So 50 is the focal distance, which now we are on. The 85 is better for faces. 50 is too much for faces, so be careful with that. If we work with perspective, it's better be 85, not 50. For faces is nice. So yeah, this is the result of our thing now. And yeah, we can, of course, as I told you, we can add hair, we can add things, and I will show you how to do that maybe later. Do we have time now? No. Okay. Bye for now. See you in the next video, where we will probably make a few changes of our ZBrush interface just to work more fast and easy. Bye for now.